back, everybody. This is LGD versus iG.Vitality, game number 3. We're all tied up 1-1 here in the MDL China Qualifier upper bracket semis. I'm Baseskip, and let's get into it. We're gonna see who's gonna stomp this game, because that has been the trend so far. LGD losing game 1 in a stomp, iGV only getting a single kill in game number 2. And LGD going to start this game off in a similar way to how they did game number 2, as they will grab that Warlock pick. So, iG.Vitality, are they going to go for that early Lifestealer? Nope, they're going to grab the Magnus for themselves. Magnus Troll. Let's see what LGD have to say about this. Do we pick something like a Legion to try and pressure the lane? Have a strong Dispel? I'm interested to see. They've already got the Warlock to counter-initiate against the Magnus, so I don't think the Magnus is going to be able to get too completely out of hand. But I'm yet to see convincing counters to the Troll Warlord, and I feel like even without the Mag, we've seen Troll Warlord get very, very farmed in some of the games that I've seen of him, so it's going to be even crazier with the Empower thrown into the mix. So definitely watching out for that. LGD, their answer so far is going to be the elusive Ember Spirit. Brings some nice magical damage to the lineup to potentially burst down the Troll. Also very good in terms of bringing AoE damage to go along with the Fatal Bonds. So that's certainly good news. What else? What else could they go for here?
LGD's turn to ban.
All right, just gonna ban out the... No, interesting to see the Lina banned. I don't feel like Ember Spirit is that convincing of a safe laner. He can certainly be run there, but I feel like a lot of the time that I've seen him run safe lane, it ends up... They end up falling a little bit flat on their face just because you run into this problem where you have absolutely no frontline. Like, even carries that aren't that good at frontlining tend to just take their HP talents, you know, build a couple of survivability items, and they can absorb a spell or two on the front lines. Not really the case for Ember Spirit, but iG.Vitality kind of worried about the burst damage strats right now. Neither team has picked up their position 4, so gonna have to look out for that as we move a little bit further into the draft. There is an Earth Spirit, maybe decent for LGD. The Magnetize is pretty good with Fatal Bonds, so that could be something to watch out for. I guess we'll see.
LGD's turn to ban.
And a Tidehunter ban. So iG.Vitality seems to be on this game plan of being a little bit worried about big AoE teamfight ultimates counter-initiating against their Magnus, which could certainly be a little bit annoying. The Tidehunter also bringing with him the Anchor Smash, which for the Troll Warlord, who's pretty much only going to be buying stat-focused items this game. You know, not both because that's what Troll Warlord does anyway, but also because that's the best way to get value out of Empower. I guess the Tide could be a little bit annoying from that perspective. The Earth Spirit actually gets banned by LGD. The Crystal Maiden is still in the pool, but I don't think it's really worth spending a ban on, though iG.Vitality will probably pick it. If you ban Crystal Maiden, then iGV maybe just take like a Rubik here to cover their Magnus a little bit perhaps. But no, alright, Sardar is the ban. iG.Vitality going to go for the Sand King. Can utilize the Empower a little bit to farm up the jungle and secure his Blink Dagger, so it just gives them a little bit more AoE teamfight to work with. So how do LGD answer this? Do they maybe think about something like, if they really want to, you know, if they want to take this head-to-head in terms of teamfight, then maybe they can pick something like an Enigma. What else is good? Silencer doesn't really look that impressive this game, unfortunately, and I think you just want a more reliable stun from your position 4. Yeah, tough call. This game had all the position 4 hate. And alright, LGD, the plan is going to be a bit of mischance, bit of vision to prevent the Magnus from ever doing his job as they grab themselves the Night Stalker. Alright, so still not that much more team fight after they picked up that Warlock, but this gives them some decent roaming potential. And I think this is just mostly about the vision game against the Magnus and the Sand King. Not even just the vision game in the sense of picking up the Aghanim Scepter and scouting them, but the vision game in terms of hitting your ultimate and reducing their vision range so that they can't actually, can't actually get a good ulti or a good burrow strike out. So, all right, I think this is a pretty heads up pick. This has been a series very much about how each team has successfully adapted after their Summit series. Earlier this week, I think it was 2 days ago or so, where LGD 2-0'd iG.Vitality, and they seemed like they'd brought a lot of adaptation in, and then LGD kind of do the same thing in Game 2, so maybe this Night Stalker pick is going to be the solution for them here in Game 3, or maybe the iG.Vitality Troll strats can be pretty strong. I would be interested to see what the win rate of Troll Warlord is in this past week in these China qualifier matches. Would be a little bit difficult to compile because you'd have to go around to all 3 of the different qualifiers: Epicenter, MDL, and Summit. But iG.Vitality pick a Dazzle. That's weird. I don't quite understand what the Dazzle is for here. You're not really up against very much physical damage. The minus armor is helpful, but I don't think it's enough to justify picking Dazzle. It does give them some more 5-man, perhaps. I'm somewhat surprised that they didn't just take the Crystal Maiden. They're both gonna kind of die the same this game. The Grave is somewhat useful, but alright, LGD now just get the opportunity to pick themselves an Axe. Not too bad against the Troll. Gonna utilize that vision advantage from the Night Stalker to great effect, and well, say farewell to your shallow grave. So LGD just going to be looking for their second to last pick mid, and iG.Vitality do have the last pick overall to grab whatever mid they're looking towards. What's good here?
Reserve time.
Oh man, I don't even know if LGD can pick a mid. It could be the Ember mid, in fact. So TA gets banned. iG.Vitality still thinking about this as if it's going to be the safe lane Ember Spirit. So maybe that's where the mix-up can come in for LGD. And LGD, what are they worried about mid? Did they just ban another Empower hero maybe? Maybe they just ban the Jug. Jug mid's actually pretty decent against Ember.
5 seconds remaining.
Maybe that's the play. If they really want to try and take this back through team fight, then I guess they could pick something like a Puck, but then they've only really got the Troll Warlord for damage. So I think they do need to diversify a bit.
10 seconds remaining.
Interesting. LGD spending a lot of time here. They just get rid of Shadow Fiend, just get rid of a little bit more physical damage as we come around the corner towards these very final picks. LGD need a building hitter. They need a building hitter real bad. I'm actually kind of surprised that they banned the Shadow Fiend. It could have been a decent pick for them, but instead, what's the solution going to be? Do they pick like a Lesh
5 seconds
or a
remaining.
Pugna? They need building damage. They don't hit buildings at all right now, and that could actually just end up costing them this game. All right, they're gonna just pick the Queen of Pain. So they are pretty woeful at hitting buildings. I mean, Queen of Pain can kind of itemize for it. You can build an AC and whatnot, though that hasn't been the popular build as of late. So LGD very much relying on their ability to win these team fights to take out the tier 1 towers to open up their split push, because they do have good split push. They've got the Ember Spirit and they've got the Queen of Pain, but they won't be able to use it if they don't take any buildings.
Reserve time.
Alright, so for iGV, they just need their mid, which won't really be able to get that much help, because the Dazzle's not a very good ganking hero, unfortunately. So just needs to be somebody that, oof, man, I think you on the one hand you kind of want to pick Storm this game, and on the other hand you really don't. Like, I guess it's okay against the Ember Since the route changes, it's a little bit more annoying. And alright, iG.Vitality just going to go for the Viper. So something that can man up against the Quap, a little bit tanky. You know, very survivable against magical damage, which is a lot of what LGD have for the early stages of the game. Pretty boring hero on the whole, but could actually be very solid. Going to be very, very potent with the Troll ultimate as well. I don't think he needs to itemize for damage at all. Just rely on the battle trance and your natural damage to the nether toxin to do your work. So yeah, I don't know. I think LGD, I liked the Night Stalker pick and the Axe pickup, but I have my doubts about their ability to hit buildings here. I think that's going to be their big downfall. Though it could end up being that they just run from lane to lane. You know, they get this Axe blink pickup and they just never lose another team fight for the rest of the game. They get the Axe blink, they win some fights. They get the Night Stalker Ags, they win some more fights. Even though they push really slowly, they will still be able to take buildings somewhat if they're super far ahead. I think Queen of Pain she's got an attack range talent in there somewhere, doesn't she? I don't think people get it. It's not very popular, but I think she has it. We'll check as soon as we get into the game. Maybe that's the sieging solution, but yeah, I don't know. For some reason I like iG.Vitality's lineup just that little bit more. I don't know if this Dazzle pick's gonna do anything, but we'll see. Maybe I will be proven wrong, and Super will show me what's going on. For anyone just tuning in for some reason, since there are people tuning in and out, I think, all the time, this is Game 3. We're tied up 1 apiece, and this is the winner bracket semis for the MDL China qualifiers. Let's get ourselves into the game. We're going to have a maybe Queen of Pain, aim on the Ember Spirit. I believe this is Yao on the Warlock. Not this again, base skip. Come on. What's going on? Surely I can just find this game, right? Yeah, there you go. Oh, what's going on here? Night Stalker scouting out in July. Who is Night Stalker? Quick question, quick answer. Alright, that's Victoria. Alright, so we got Victoria on the Night Stalker. Meanwhile, over the other side, we got Super on the Dazzle, in July on Magnus, Hehe, or is that Cicada? Wait, who have I clicked on? Clicked on the wrong team. Yeah, so that is Cicada. And this is Super, as mentioned. Paparazzi on the Troll Warlord. And Dogfights on the Sand King. Alright, so I was actually right. Finally. Okay, in terms of our early warding situation, we've only got the 1 Dire Observer Ward planted down right now. Nobody else managing to make it out into position to put down their wards. So Dazzle looks like just going to go and put down a lane ward, but in a very conservative spot, trying to avoid the sentry radius around here. Troll just needs to go and grab his poor man's shield in a second. Dogfights, meanwhile, just going to be body blocking up the mid lane a little bit, try and get this advantage for Cicada early on. But maybe doing pretty well for himself, and looks like he will actually get the far superior block. They do manage to put down the sentry ward, and you get the immediate D ward on the mid lane, so there's not going to be vision up the high ground past the 4-minute mark for the Queen of Pain, as she does just start trading hits with the Viper early on. He has picked up the poison attack, but somehow still aggroing the creep wave anyway. Quap not getting a single last hit out of this initial wave, which is a little bit rough. Actually does manage to grab 1. And Night Stalker just jungling with an Iron Talon, so Dogfight's more than happy to sit here around the corner, steal a little bit of his experience away. Comes in with the Burrow Strike, actually getting the last hit. Now gonna get punched though. Alright, maybe not quite what he was expecting there, but still being a nuisance. Axe, despite grabbing the poor man's shield, is actually just being forced straight back into the jungle. They have completely lost control of this bottom lane for the time being, but looks like a little side pull is gonna rectify the situation. Yep. Easily able to drag these range creeps away, and Axe gonna be pretty unhappy with that. Dogfight's coming in to scout him, but will not find him. So, alright. what else do we have happening? Queen of Pain going to be going for the double null talisman once again. Just some pressure on mid. Probably we'll actually get the Veil this game, I think, or maybe the Ember gets the Veil. I don't know. I think if you're gonna buy double null talisman on the co-op, you may as well get the Veil for the team. I guess that opens up the Ember Spirit to rush Boots of Travel even more quickly, and that's gonna be a nice farm accelerator for him. Is the lead on the net worth right now, as Sand King's looking to snipe the courier. Looks like he. Oop, nope. All right.
Double damage.
He's got boots, but the courier's got a boot of his own, and he's going to be okay. Meanwhile, Quap picking up a DD. Alright, that's going to make this mid lane a little bit more difficult for the Viper. He does have the 1 point up in the corrosive skin so far. Is he really going to man up against the double damage Quap? Maybe he didn't see the DD, but maybe he's just dead. Because there is a blink ready to go. Blink away from the Sand King. Up onto the high ground. Finish the kill. Looks like the Burst Strike will maybe find the turnaround. Yep, Dogfights does grab that kill. Not even enough to grab his level 2, but I think Queen of Pain's still pretty happy. Does pick up the double null talisman and the boots, as Axe actually dying underneath the tier 1 tower over at bottom. Very long dive to go and find him, but still. They get the kill in the end. He's already used his shrine over here. And 11. Boots picked up. No talent or anything like that, so still very much looking to contest this bottom lane. Queen of Pain, despite the kill, actually a little bit behind in terms of the CS on mid, but just going to keep on going in with the damage. Does just barely manage to get the blink away as Dogfights runs in there with only the level 1 Burst Strike. How's our Magnus doing? He's only got 5 CS so far. Has backed up over into the jungle. No point in the skewer. Looks like he's just been... well, hasn't really been jungle farming so far, but should be able to catch up pretty nicely now that he's in here. Doesn't have anything stacked up, but yeah, he's got the Iron Talon. Looks like he's gonna be all right. Dazzle comes in for a very late 2-minute bounty in there. Little taunt. Axe hoping for a spin to get the last hit. Looks like he's not gonna get it. Very unlucky. As Paparazzi will be able to get that little bit of extra gold. Still has a salve in his inventory as well, and just laying the hurt into Axe. Has already picked up 2 points in the whirling axes, so going for that little bit of extra kill potential down here at bottom with the extra nukes. There's mid lane getting pressured once again. It's an invis Sand King this time around. We've also got a smoked Night Stalker running down towards bottom looking to help out his Axe. But it looks like that's all he's going to be able to do. Is there a point in the battle hunger just yet? No, Dazzle getting chased down. Does have 2 points up in the Poison Touch. They've also got the Warlock rotating across. And with that, they will get the kill. Troll Warlord now being chased. Throws out the Whirling Axis. He's pretty fast. Should be able to escape, but there's only 1 second to go on another Void. Night Stalker maybe diving just a little bit too far. Going to come in here for the auto attacks. Gets first hit bashed. Are you kidding me? Do they have any more Fatal Bonds on these creeps? Nope. Troll Warlord going to live on 25 HP with a cheeky smile on his face and a nice easy walk back to his base. That was rough. That was very, very rough for the Night Stalker. Alright. In the meantime, what else happens? Queen of Pain died over at mid lane. Looks like the Invis Sand King. Finding that one. What else? Alright, Night Stalker heading back over towards mid, but looks like he may have been scouted out by this Radiant Observer Ward, so maybe they'll have some kind of an idea where he's planting his obs right now. Dogfights has some Tranquil Boots, so easier to get that little bit of initiation against the Queen of Pain, who doesn't have any item progression since the last time that we checked in on her. Viper is going for the Corrosive Skin pretty early on, pretty standard build overall. Magnus, no boots just yet. Could be a dangerous situation for him, as Ember does already have the level 6 with a triple Remnant ready to go. They got the Fatal Bonds, the Remnant's coming forward. He does get saved a little bit by the Raindrop. Gets the Skewer across, but still getting burned down, and looks like he will just get auto-attacked to death. Does he at least manage to buy his boots? Yes, he does. Alright. But very timely rotation for the Night Stalker. Gets a ward up here. Very deep on the high ground, but at least see the Magnus farming over here, so might be able to make that same rotation once again, but Quap getting dropped pretty low. Yet another salve utilized on mid. Meanwhile, Troll Warlord working his way towards his Vlads. Is maxing out the Whirling Axes this game, which is a little bit different. I wonder if this is going to slow down his farm rate by all that much. Probably gets compensated for by the fact he's going to have Empower, but I do think that the Fervor Berserker's Rage probably farms just a little bit faster with the move speed. You don't really use your spells that much when you're in the jungle for Troll. But maybe it doesn't matter all that much either, since you should still be able to clear out the majority of the jungle every 2 minutes. It might affect his ability to do Ancient, and it's definitely going to affect his ability to do Roshan without having all those Fervor stacks up. So later Rosh this game, but again, I don't really think that iG.Vitality are that interested in being aggressive, because the onus is 100% on LGD to win this game and to, you know, start winning it early, which they aren't really doing right now, and only a 330 net worth advantage. Haste Sand King scouting everything out. Queen of Pain was keen to come down bottom and use this first Sonic Wave to find a kill. And this is the big problem with Queen of Pain as a hero, that especially if you don't win your lane, you just gotta make rotations with Sonic Wave, but it can be tough to do. It's really obvious when the Queen of Pain hits level 6 and all of a sudden she's off the map, because she's not a hero that does multiple different things, right? You're not going to be backing up into the jungle at level 6 as a Queen of Pain. You're going to be looking for a kill. And they just play back a little bit, get the scouting with the Sand King, and meanwhile Viper quite happily just farming mid lane. Looks like he's even going to be going for a Hand of Midas, realizing that their situation in this game is that they can just sit back and farm. It's very easy for them to push towers. They don't even have that much deep push necessarily. It's mostly just the Shockwave, but alright, maybe it's the Ember Spirit who's going to come online. He does buy a Veil of his own, so Queen of Pain just going to have the double Null Talisman for some stats. I guess not that bad. What else is he going to go for? Definitely needs some form of mana regen. What form exactly that's going to take depends on what maybe feels like. You know, this is a pretty good Lincoln Sphere game, but I don't think you want to go Lincolns first on the co-op. It's not an awful game for Yules. All right, he's what? Double Veil? Really? LGD? Is this the play? Seems a little bit wasteful to me.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I guess Ember also wants this for the armor, but there are other options that he could have gone for if he just wanted the armor this game. Like Blade Mail and Ember Spirit is not awful. Oh, he's jumping forward onto Mag. Does drop the RP, looking to skewer himself away and go for the TP out. We'll be able to make it. Not actually TPing, Ember threatening him with another Remnant, but not jumping forward. Not using his Veil there. In all of that would have been a nice little boost to his damage. But instead, Magnus gonna survive, go and shrine himself up. As we head towards the 10-minute mark, the Ember is very farmed, but has only found the 1 kill so far. And the Axe is going to be the other big hero that they're waiting for right now. He's made 600 gold with the progress towards his Blink. Troll Warlord running back. He's getting slowed down somewhat, but the non-stop Poison Touch spam coming in from the Dazzle, helping to kite the Axe around in circles. Queen of Pain, keen for this bounty rune, will be able to blink forward and snag it, but can't do anything to dogfights other than break his Tranquil Boots. Now they've got the Viper Strike over on the Ember. Able to jump away to that Remnant that he placed a little bit earlier with his very last 150 mana. So, just gonna regen back up to be able to CP back home. Viper has that Midas coming along, just stopping off for the treads in the interim, but what are they getting done here? Dazzle, left for dead perhaps down here at bottom, nobody here to help him. But the creep's not really cooperating, and Axe getting blocked up while being afraid of some TPs coming in, so they're just gonna give it up for now. Magnus also coming over with level 3 Empower to buff up his Troll Warlord, who does have the Vlads now, so should be able to farm pretty much anything that he wants. Queen of Pain still trying to finish Veil on mid. Less net worth than the Axe right now, and I don't think Axe is even all that farmed for this stage of the game. Speaking of, Axe does get the call and the dunk on bottom. Alright. Patience is a virtue, and they will be able to grab that. He is getting weaved up right now, and that's going to help out the Viper's case a little bit. He tries for the TP out, but too much Nether Toxin damage. Doesn't even get the tier 1 tower, and what a disaster on bottom lane that was.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But they are pushing a bit. At least making the space for that split push to come in a little bit later on. Queen of Pain manning up, but really unable to do so against Paparazzi, who is going to go for a slightly different Troll Warlord build here. Heading in towards the Shadow Blade next, so hope for those random bashes against the Ember Spirit as you run around looking for ganks. Axe, despite the death, still 1400 gold towards his Blink. Getting closer. Warlock has the level 6 now as well, so you would think that they're going to look for a fight somewhat soon. Oh, that's not good. Queen of Pain has her Blink on cooldown. Going to have to go for the TP out, and will make it. Very nice decision making there. But still getting forced all the way back to the fountain as she gets quite close to her Midas. So, alright. I mean, LGD, if you play the long game, do you win? I really don't think so. I really do not think so. And, alright, it's actually iG.Vitality here, able to come in here and push. No real threat elsewhere on the map for a trade. They do have the Night Stalker, fairly... Not even a fairly high level. He's only level 5 right now. Has his phase boots up, but no real Ags progress to speak of. Dogfights making a little bit happen here and there towards his Blink Dagger as AIM is really trying to find some kills. Remembers to use the Veil this time around, but gets RP'd down. They've got some chains done, but skewers him past Dogfights, who's a little bit confused as to what's going on. Ember does still have a Remnant to jump away to, and nobody waiting over there, so looks like he's going to be A-okay, but I mean, that's about the extent of the space that the Ember is able to make. He draws like 5 heroes over towards him, but 11 still just farming. Is that the Blink at least coming out on the Courier now? Alright, Blink on the Courier, Midas also up. We're still yet to see a Sonic Wave this game out of the Quap, so those timely rotations that I was talking about are really just not happening. And Paparazzi holding on to this top tier 1. Looks like it might get brought down. TP not going to get cancelled. So it looks like he'll be alright. Is going... Okay. So not going to be going for the Shadow Blade. He's just kind of going for the standard build. Yasha picked up. Now going in towards the BKB. Does have the Fervor maxed out, so maybe has the opportunity to go for a Roche, but this is the first big smoke of the game for LGD. It took them 14 minutes, but let's see if this is where they can start to pick up the pace. Tier 1 mid would be a great follow-up goal, but I think for now, just looking for a couple of kills. Chaotic Offering held and at the ready. They've got another minute and a half of nighttime as they move their way over towards top. Ember Spirit also around here, but a little bit suspicious that he's running from the mid lane like this. Radiant scan. Is it going to reveal this smoke? Dogfight's going to burrow over into the neutral camp and try and make his escape. Can they cancel the TP? The root. Oh, he gets a little bit unlucky. Well, only a little bit unlucky, right? It's what, 2 units? So he gets brought down, but still not really what they were looking for there. Nightstalker comes running up onto the high ground, but gets more than he bargained for as Viper just auto-attacks him to death. Viper now just gonna go Midas up creep camp. This Viper is a boring hero, but it's looking like they might just be winning the game off of it here after surviving the lane against the Quap. LGD staring him down, but he's got 1800 health. Sonic Wave getting pump faked, but Queen of Pain's actually the one who gets forced to blink back. Does have a regen rune to heal back up. And alright, is planning a kind of split pushy pick-off build here. Treads into a Silver Edge perhaps. They definitely need to break this Viper passive if they can. The corrosive skin definitely very annoying. Ember on the front lines does not have a Remnant out. Sand King just waiting over in the trees, gonna maybe hope for a burrow. As they continue chipping this tier 1, there is a troll pushing their tier 1 down on bottom as well at the same time. And he's actually gonna beat them to the punch. A solo push versus a 5-man push, and the Troll Warlord wins out. Still yet to see this blink really come into effect from the axe, and despite 5-manning a whole bunch, or 4-manning a whole bunch, the Radiant team still winning out in terms of the farm right now. Viper gonna get weaved up, very difficult to bring down. They need some spins. They've got the Sonic Wave as well. The Grave's not gonna help him. Unless they don't get the dunk off the Chaotic Offering, catching onto a couple. Magnus gonna skewer in, looking for the RP as they do manage to chop down the Ember. He buys back into the game to continue this fight. His Veil is on cooldown. Queen of Pain continuing the fight. Now they jump forward with one more Remnant. Quap low, very low range blink. Dogfight's almost finished off, but the heal helping to keep him up. Dazzle's still full HP, getting auto attack down by aim. Needs to avoid the dieback here. Magnus just shockwaves him back as Dogfight's actually able to TP out, and at the end of the day, it will just end up being a, what, 3 for 2 fight overall? Can I get a fight recap? No, there we go, nice. Alright. So, small gold lead, a small gold advantage to the Radiant, pretty much even in terms of the experience, and that was with pretty much everything being used that the Dire had up their sleeves. At least the Troll Warlord and the Viper died, so that kind of mitigated the situation. But Sand King walks away with a pretty nice, tidy pile of gold. Gonna have his blink up soon. Night Stalker is still very far away from the Aghanim Scepter. And Queen of Pain, alright, she's got her treads. Shadow Blade up next. 4-man smoke into the Roshan Pit, and looks like this should be very, very fast with Team Radiant. They got the weave up as well, so they're taking basically no damage off of this. Sand King gonna stay outside of the pit to scout. They don't even have the RP for another 30 seconds, but alright. Aegis gonna be in hand in just a second. They're coming in. Looks like they know what's going on. Ember jumping into the front lines, but he might just get auto attack down. The Ember gets saved for now by the Axe jumping in with the call, but now forced to jump himself away. Axe just gonna get auto attack down. Warlock trying to escape. No bash or anything like that as Troll chases forward with an invis. Night Stalker, it is daytime. He's pretty slow. Can they get a blink skewer back perhaps? No, the Fatal Bonds on the Magnus is going to interrupt his blink for the time being, but iG.Vitality, they got the building hitters, and LGD certainly do not, so Tier 2 tower next on the chopping block. They've got their Aegis over on the Viper. Troll, not even having to position himself all that defensively, does now have his BKB completed, so he's going to be impossible to kill, really. They don't have any dev and they've got a little bit of pure damage on the spin and a little bit of pure damage on the Sonic Wave, and that's about it. Troll's only going to build tankier and tankier from this point forward. We're talking S&Y, we're talking Scotty, Satanic if he wants one. Even a Silver Edge with another Ultimate Orb in there. So, I don't know. I'm not convinced that they had the anti-troll strat this game. Or maybe they were thinking too much about the troll and saying, okay, we need a bunch of burst damage to kill him, but it's not working. He's just farming 11.3k net worth already. Sand King's got the blink now, so even more counter initiation. Oh, another Warlock ulti ready to go, but LGD kind of waiting around for Midas's, hoping that this Queen of Pain is going to be able to split push out this game, perhaps. I didn't even check about the attack range talent. She does have a plus 100 attack range talent, but I feel like most people end up taking the 300 health instead. Just going for a Lincoln Sphere right now. This is the other thing about Queen of Pain, is that her itemization just feels so difficult. There's so many bases that she needs to cover. She doesn't have enough mana regen to, like, even if just spamming Blink and Scream of Pain to get around and farm. You can't really be mana neutral unless you have like 2 mana regen items, which is really tough. And then, you know, your ultimate costs a decent amount, so even you can't just buy mana regen, you also have to build up your mana pool. It's rough. Alright, Radiant Glyph gonna get popped as they defend their tier 2 down bottom while taking a tier 1 over on top. Axe has his Blade Mail now. Alright, that's gonna be good against these empowered cores. Maybe that can help them start turning the game. Dazzle just gonna be going for a Solar Crest. Oh, they get the burrow onto the Night Stalker. Reasonably fast because it is nighttime, and they turn around onto Dogfight. She's gonna Sonic Wave him down. Not a whole lot that they can do about the Viper, especially since he still has the Aegis in his inventory, so they're just gonna let him go for now. As Troll does complete up that S&Y. Looks like Paparazzi's still keen on going for the Shadow Blade, so we'll queue that up next. Has to be careful about running up onto the high ground. He's not the one with the Aegis. Mag gonna be going for yet another Midas. Man, LGD really made this game easy on them by not really picking any push. Alright, they will at least get this tier 1 tower now at mid, but not even getting the last hit. Night Stalker not even going to be going for the Ags right now, just working on a Solar Crest. As Warlock trying to complete a Midas, but they're losing buildings at a pretty rapid clip. Troll Warlord gonna tear through that tier 2. They do have a Maelstrom up on their Ember, so he'll be able to defend a little bit down here on the bottom side. As the tier 2 does get pushed decently by the Queen of Pain. Not even going for her damage talent, just tanking up a little bit further, but Viper getting armored up. They've got the Weave running. They've got the Medallion for him as well. He's got the Aegis, and he is a sieging machine. They've got the Battle Trance as well to help him out in just a second, and he's just going to stay up here. He really wants the tier 3. They are going to be able to get the Blink in and the call. The Blade Mail doing good damage, but they skewer him back out into the Burrow Strike. The Viper is kept alive, courtesy of the Grave. He will finally be brought down. Queen of Pain's actually chipping the tier 3 tower over at mid, and looks like they're going to disengage because of that. Magnus TP's back, but ends up canceling as it looks like they really want to force this tier 3 themselves. But alright, maybe senses his opportunity to go and push the high ground once again. And they're going to be able to keep on holding out. Troll Warlord forces the Glyph. Radiant Glyph is not available, in fact, so all of this damage that Queen of Pain is going to be able to get. She might even turn this around. Nope, Troll Warlord just invests the 10-second BKB to secure the tier 3. And now TP's himself back. Queen of Pain would also very much love this tier 3 if she could get it, but now the Burrow Strike comes in. Catching her, did not have the Lincoln Sphere just yet, but looks like no further follow-up. And now has enough money for the Lincoln Sphere, so maybe can go grab that in just a second. Still trailing by about 4k net worth, but not as much as I was expecting for this stage of the game, since iG.Vitality have actually opted to 5-man quite a bit in the last few minutes. Troll Warlord going for Satanic next. Surprised that that's not just a Scotty, but alright. Axe can be going for a Force Staff, Quap, maybe get some Maelstrom or something to push waves a little bit faster. I do think you have to try and build some right click on this Queen of Pain this game. Alright, everybody TPing over to their bottom shrine because their top shrine is not long for life. An empowered Troll Warlord going to work over there. They are weaving up somewhat. Dogfights on the back lines. Have they been able to scout anybody? Old 11 running forward. They spot the Troll Warlord, but he blinks in the wrong place. And Paparazzi just able to run it out. I mean, he didn't have... He had no idea where they were. He was like, oh, are they just watching me from the high ground? And then Troll just scoots on by. Alright. So Roshan potentially up in a minute and a half. Paparazzi once again being a little bit indecisive in terms of his build. Does go for the Blink Dagger to follow up a little bit better on the Magnus as they now go for a smoke. TPing in, hoping to catch a couple of heroes down on bottom, and it is the Queen of Pain. They're also jumping in with the Epicenter. Gonna do some decent damage. They've caught the call over on the Axe. The RP not gonna catch anything. And Queen of Pain just able to blink away to freedom. Not so lucky is the Axe as he gets chased down by Paparazzi, but that's an Epicenter and an RP expended. And that could end up being a little bit of space for LGD to make something happen. Paparazzi blinking forward into this camp. BKB already used, so the Ember Spirit damage is going to stick this time around. It looks like he'll just be brought down. What was he doing over there? They don't have any... I mean, they have some vision all the way over at the other side of the map, but it's Night Stalker's nighttime. Can't see anything at all. I don't know why he blinked like that. His team just whiffed a bunch of spells, and he runs forward like he's immortal. Alright, well, LGD gonna get this tier 2 for free. Roshan somewhat soon. Well, potentially. Ember going to be going for a Shiva's. The Queen of Pain is still going to be going for that Silver Edge here. I guess just to help them out a little bit against the Viper, who is going to be going for a BKB. Does he really need a BKB? Come on. Really? I guess he is gonna, like, it helps him stop, it's not gonna get kited by the Ember. I guess the silence on the Night Stalker is kind of annoying as well. But somewhat surprised to see this as the item selection. But he's already got it completed, gonna be going for an AC next, still very farmed. That Midas helping to keep him nice and relevant as the game goes on. Troll Warlord is still queuing up a Satanic next. Maybe the Satanic is just if he can pop it right before he gets called by the Axe, he won't be able to die to the Blade Mail, but Yeah, it still strikes me as a slightly odd choice. Ember really wants this tier 3 at mid. The glyph is almost back off cooldown for iG.Vitality. And the top tier 2 are going to get pushed somewhat. TP in from the Viper, and everybody's just going to scatter to the wind since they still can't really do very much about him. And another... Wait, why are iG.Vitality so keen to smoke all the time? I guess their whole jungle is... I mean, their whole jungle is farmed out, but it's now respawning. So, might be a decent time to catch LGD, but they don't have any vision to really... Don't, I guess they have a little bit of vision to smoke too. But instead they're running up into the area that they don't have vision. Alright, so they get some wards down. They're not really utilizing their farm right now, but at least the Troll Warlord is bouncing from camp to camp, keeping his #1 net worth spot. Quap. Alright, just the ultimate orb away from the Silver Edge, as they've opened up a ton of space on the map to be able to split push right now. Axe just picking up a Force Staff, nice little D-ward. Pointing out that they are indeed being scouted. Warlock with his Midas, not sure really what he can buy that's going to be crazy impactful this game. The Refresher Orb, of course, much later on. Viper. It turns out that he's just empowered along his entire body. That actually looks pretty sick. But, alright. Roshan's back up. Paparazzi heading in there. Maybe just going to go and take a little bit of farm over in the Radiant Jungle. Nightstalker does have his point booster now at the very least towards his Aghanim Scepter, but the rest of it's still going to take a bit. Now Paparazzi are going to take out the Roche. Looks like he's going to be taking the Aegis this time around, so they're going to be sending him up to siege the high ground. It is pretty nice to have the Aegis along with the Blink Dagger. Can potentially get the Blink away immediately after respawning back up. And like we've seen, the Viper is quite tanky, though. I don't know. The 2k health is actually looking like it might be killable here. And actually, that's a lot of gold on that courier. Was that the majority of Viper's AC? There was something big on there. Looks like that was the entire Magnus Yules. I should be able to check. Do I have the hotkey bound? No, let's just change it really quickly. Alright, the entire Yules, Ring of Health, and a Ring of Regen for dogfights, so that was his hood. And a ward for dogfights as well. So, a nice little courier snipe. LGD just having to settle into pushing these lanes out non-stop to try and keep iG.Vitality away from their side of the map. Do they have a gem picked up or anything like that? No, they're just maintaining map control through kind of sheer willpower right now with the D-wards around the place and reading the iG.Vitality movements. Paparazzi does take out that tier 2. Still working towards his Satanic. Alright, he shows on bottom. Can they kill him? Do they even think about going for it? That's the question, and it looks like the answer is no. Probably worried that there's a couple of heroes sitting behind him. Axe has blinked himself up onto this high ground. Just for a second. Does have a TP scroll ready to go, so I guess he's just waiting to see if there's any heroes that walk on by. Viper buying some Boots of Travel. Alright, that's going to be their solution to the split push. A bit of a weird Force Staff. Some very greedy items on this Viper. Like I said, I think the Boots of Travel mostly to deal with the split push, so he can be back with his team, and then they can he can be back defending the base, and then they can go 4-mana lane, and he can go and TP to join them, which is kind of what they're doing at the moment. Magnus not out on the map just yet, however. He's going to be escorting this wave, it looks like, as they would like to get this bottom lane of Rax, apparently. Still another 2.5 minutes on the Aegis. Axe just going for a Crimson Guard here. And LGD already using one of their base shrines, not really doing that much for them. Alright, so the Silver Edge is up. Queen of Pain now going to be going for an Orchid, and actually has the entire Bloodthorn queued up right now. Magnus running forward. Shiva's from the Ember Spirit. He gets bashed the first time. Stunned up a little bit as well by the Ember, and there's no shrine over here, so he's going to be brought down. Oh, man. Buys back immediately, but the Racks are already under siege. They get the silence onto the Viper, but Paparazzi straight under the front lines, the upheaval. A little bit annoying as they actually managed to break up the Troll Warlord as well, dragging him a little bit further in with the Blink call, but not doing that much damage. He's still got the BKB, he's still got the Aegis, and they do get the full lane of Racks. Are they going to try and defend him here is the question. Might just pop the BKB as soon as he jumps back up. Nice slight chains combo, but the Ember needing to be very careful. Can't jump in. The Epicenter actually now thrown over onto the Night Stalker. He does manage to pop the Darkness. Troll Warlord not caught by the Warlock ultimate, but the Magnus is, and he will get finished off by the Sonic Wave. Viper, a couple more seconds of his BKB to go, but looks like he should just get his TP cancelled by the chains, and he'll also get dropped. Axe grabbing that dunk, finishing off stealing that streak away from the Viper. So they do get the full lane of Racks, but lose 2 heroes and the Aegis in exchange. Ember just going to be going for his Mjolnir, but that death setting him back a little bit. Troll Warlord buying up his Satanic, alright. Going to make him a little bit stronger against these Axe initiations, but maybe once again hunting forward. This Midas has paid dividends, and he's now the #1 net worth hero over on the Dire side as they force their way in towards the mid lane. I don't know if they can really hope for the full lane of Racks, but they are hoping for this tier 3 tower at the very least, though there is a glyph for Team iG.Vitality, so... but they don't use it. I thought they might be able to get their Viper back up, but it looks like, yeah. 2 auto attacks. Did the Queen of Pain go for the attack range? She did. Alright. Over to the Shrine they go. It's not fast, but at least it's going to be a little bit more gold for the Night Stalker. In fact, it won't be, as iG.Vitality, despite not having the Viper alive, will be able to force their way outside of the base and defend that. Viper still working on his AC, but doesn't have it just yet. And LGD in a pretty precarious situation. Ember dies, he's dead for a very long time, but at the same time, it is also his responsibility to push out the waves. But you know, all it's going to take is a single Burrow Strike catching him for him to be in very big trouble. Magnus going for the Yule Scepter, not picking up a Shadow Blade. So what? More survivability as opposed to more initiation potential. Okay, no, he is going to go for the Shadow Blade, but he's also going for Greaves, feeling like he really needs 2 different ways to go for a Dispel this game. The Fatal Bonds has proved to be pretty annoying for him so far, and there is also the Night Stalker silence, not to mention the Queen of Pain silence, so makes some sense, but oh, Axe pushing out bottom, gets caught by the Burrow, blink in from the Troll Warlord, and an easy kill as they go for a 4-man smoke now. Gonna try and clear out the Dire jungle, I would suspect, but first, heading up onto this high ground. Troll gonna be picking up a Demon Edge as he works his way towards an MKB. What's that really for? Is the Solar Crest up? Alright, there is a Solar Crest on the Night Stalker. But bottom lane gonna push itself. It's already Raxed, so it's only really mid lane that's that much of a problem. They could cut one wave to get the equilibrium going back the opposite way, but this smoke is still lasting a little bit longer, and they might be able to find somebody up here. Warlock, a bit afraid, is going to be TPing all the way back to his fountain. Queen of Pain hanging around, but nobody going to be coming anywhere close to these Radiant Wards. As Viper, with his Boots of Travel, content to be a little bit away from his team, as he does now push out the mid lane and get that last little bit of gold towards his AC. Alright. Maybe he does have 3.3k gold banked, so could pick up the Bloodthorn in just a second if he so desires. Ember Spirit, does he have his... oh wait. Did he have the Blink Dagger before? I get the feeling that maybe he didn't have this Blink, so it looks like he's going for the Blink instead of completing the Mjolnir. Make that split push just that little bit more safe. What else? Dazzle completing his Solar Crest. Troll starting to get pretty close to slotted. I mean, he's got his MKB now, so sub out some phase boots for some Boots of Travel. Maybe the Sanjanyasha gets upgraded to a Scotty at some point. You know, maybe you get yourself a Moon Shard, but that's kind of it. The Night Stalker Ags is by far the most impactful item, I think, over on the Dire team right now, so really need to finish farming that up. Do they have any more smokes on the Radiant? That's the question. They're on a little bit of a dewarding mission right now. Do they check this high ground is the question. Looks like no. Roshan going to be back up in just another couple of seconds time as Magnus gets yet another Dispel item. I'm a little bit surprised that he doesn't just go BKB. Like, if you feel like you need a Yules and a Greaves, why don't you just buy BKB? I guess the Yules is potentially a nice lock. The Yules is mostly for the Axe, I suppose. Because the Axe is going to blink in call with the Blade Mail, and then you just Yules him. So, alright, that makes sense to me. The Yules, I guess, is fine. The Greaves is maybe a bit weird, but it's not bad against the team fight. You know, they've mostly got AoE damage on LGD, so healing that up is helpful. I guess it all makes sense. Axe gonna be buying himself a Yules. Alright, he has been dying pretty quickly in these fights. Alright. iG.Vitality looking towards Roshan. They've got a little bit of vision up here on the high ground, but not a whole lot coming through the mid lane, so it looks like they're just gonna push this mid wave out to use that for a little bit of scouting potential, but LGD running their way past. They do have their Aghanim Scepter up in the Night Stalker, so they're going to spot the Magnus up here on the high ground. Axe running forward, looking for some kind of initiation. Does get the jumping call. They should be able to burst the mag. Won't be able to get off any spells. They drop the Chaotic Offering on top of the Troll Warlord as well. His BKB is getting kited out. He will be able to focus the Golem down. The BKB also getting popped by the Viper, trying to focus on the Night Stalker, but not using the poison attack early on, as Night Stalker does manage to retreat his way up onto the high ground. Two-man chains onto the Dazzle and the Sand King. They're burrow striking their way out of there as Axe looking to continue the pursuit. Gonna Yules him up. Has the call ready to go, but the Hurricane Pike pushing him a little bit further away. The Blade Mail will help to keep him alive as the Queen of Pain mans up. It's a very awkward team fight as now the Warlock is the one isolated on the sidelines. Will be able to force staff himself a little bit further away, but still brought down. Just a 1-for-1 so far. They're still using their Night Stalker vision to great effect, scouting around in the back lines of this fight. Epicenter's already been used, but looks like somewhat wasted as they will jump forward. They get the silence out of the Sand King. The jump in call onto the Dazzle. Axe, once again, a little bit afraid for his life, but he does have the Yules, and they will be able to dunk through that shallow grave as Axe still just lurking in the trees. They're kiting around the Viper. It's a double kill for maybe. Doesn't manage to make it a triple as Ember will actually find that kill, but exquisite kiting from LGD. And that's going to give them the opportunity to come in now towards the Roche with their Bloodthorn. And looks like pick that one up. Aegis and Cheese waiting to be claimed. Ember Spirit able to go back and defend the base. So no great loss there. And Magnus, even with all the Yule Scepter and the Guardian Greaves, just not in the right position in front of his team. And gets bursted down and loses in the fight. Even if the Magnus had gotten off a good RP, probably would have been immediately counter-initiated by the Chaotic Offering, but losing the mag like that definitely made the fight much easier. Now the gem is gone. LGD pushing up onto the high ground, and as much as I thought that this iG.Vitality team could not lose as it made its way towards the late game, looks like they're going to be getting counter-axed here on the mid lane. Still quite a long way to go for the Troll Warlord and the Viper respawns. Their BKBs wearing down little by little. Queen of Pain has the Aegis. Able to fight very, very effectively. Mag, is he going to try for something? Ember Spirit jumping forward. Canceling his Blink Dagger for the time being. They will not be able to get this tier 3 tower. They still don't push all that fast, but have to be satisfied with the result of those fights. And with that, they're going to be taking back the net worth lead for the first time since the 10-minute mark this game. Also managed to finish up that shrine that they've been eyeing all this time. And Queen of Pain, 5.3k gold. Stacked up. I don't know what exactly maybe is thinking about going for here. He does have the spell lifesteal, so something like a Radiance, maybe not an awful choice. Mjolnir, also pretty popular. I think a Hex could be good. The Ember already has a Shiva's, so maybe you get an AC, but plenty of good options. Just a question of how he wants to be playing these fights. Viper's working on a Scotty. Paparazzi still working on. Oh, man, he really wants this Shadow Blade. He keeps like putting it in his quick buy and then buying something else. They've smoked their way out. This could be a pretty dangerous place to take a fight in this mid and bottom lanes. giving a bit of information for LGD as they just wait around for the next nighttime. They don't have a darkness available at the moment either, so nice and patient play from them. And alright, another smoke out. Nightstalker ulti ready in 10 seconds time. Ember not revealing himself just yet. I don't really know why he feels the need to push out this mid lane so much since it's already raxed, but shows himself. They've got the Nightstalker vision. Can they get a jump and initiation onto a couple Axe? Looks like not seeing them. But that was all 3 cores stacked on top of each other for a fraction of a second there, and that could have been the game over in one fell swoop. There are still plenty of buybacks available on both sides. But alright. They're gonna come in here, take out the secondary shrine. Maybe still not deciding on what item he wants to go for. 6.2k. It's not. Wait, what did he just sell? Is that his Midas gun? What's he buying? Does he have something on the courier? Alright, we got another Shiva's for 11. Alright, he is just going to be buying up an AC. Didn't pick up those other components. Looks like he hadn't even decided by the time that he was over here, but... Alright, Ember now going for an Octarine core. Does go for the 20 seconds, well 20%, not 20 seconds. Cooldown reduction.
This stuns, gold remains.
Man, it could just be that this Nightstalker Ags, along with the double Shiva's vision, just wins him the game. Mag's gotta get this RP off. Alright, 400 gold to go for his Shadow Blade, so maybe that'll give him the opportunity. At least this way he only has to worry about the gem radius as opposed to the full vision radius from the Nightstalker. But even then, that gem radius is pretty sweet. 5-man smoke down the mid. They've got the Warlock in the backlines ready to counter initiate in case an RP goes off. There's going to be a gem purchased up by the Dazzle, trying to reclaim map control, but they haven't dewarded this ward up here on the high ground, and Troll could be in some trouble. He's got the DD up, but that could just end up killing himself on the Axe Blade Mail. They're going to look for the jump forward. They do get the call onto the Viper, weaving up everybody, force-staffing the Viper a little bit further outside of the base to jump in. They're looking for the Skewer, but they've only got it onto the Axe. The Chaotic Offering counter-initiating nicely as well as the Queen of Pain. Now going to go to work with some auto-attacks. They do manage to pop the Lincolns. Burrow strike through. She's still got the Aegis. Blinking a little bit further over, but the Aegis actually getting reclaimed at the very last moment. Oh, man, that could have been bad for maybe, but fortunately he survives, even with the AC taking way too much damage. And alright, with the Magnus at least surviving the initial initiation, looks like they will be able to push down this mid lane. Axe no buyback for 40 seconds. Choosing to buy that Shiva's instead. And no Chaotic Offering either. iG.Vitality. They smell blood. It's up to the Ember to be able to keep this mid lane pushed out, but some of his attention was diverted over towards bottom. That lane already being raxed, slowing them down somewhat. Troll just going to be going for a Hex, it looks like, to deal with these very elusive LGD cores as Ember jumping in very deep, clears out the wave entirely. They do get the silence, along with the break, over onto the Troll Warlord, but Viper, keen to try and force his way up. Oh, actually, yeah. So I was talking about this MKB on the Troll earlier, and I was like, oh, why is he buying MKB? But of course it's because of the Nightstalker silence as well, not just because of the Solar Crest. They're chasing forward. They're looking for something. Dogfight's over in the tree line, just going to be TPing out towards the tier 2, but he actually gets cancelled by the Searing Chains. Maybe sensing another opportunity. Chases forward, but Troll Warlord pretty speedy. Dazzle, nothing to interrupt his TP. They've still got this great vision from the Nightstalker Ag, scouting everything out as they run forward, but none of the damage dealers are here right now. It's just the Axe and the Nightstalker. But maybe even Nightstalker is going to become a damage dealer in his own right. He's gone for the 25 attack speed. Maybe goes for the 50 damage at level 20. And he'll be able to do some good work. Troll Warlord in a bit of trouble. Nice Yules from the Magnus, waiting here up on the high ground, but doesn't have the RP for 2 seconds time. Skewers back onto Axe. Finds him on the high ground. 11 is stuck. Dogfight's also TPing up out of the high ground. Satanic is going to heal the Troll Warlord. Almost back up to full. The Viper focusing onto Escaper, but he will be able to force staff himself down into the low ground. The RP coming in. It's caught 2. They're going to force staff the Troll forward. Can they actually find these kills? It was a huge RP onto 3, but they don't get any of the kills whatsoever as Troll gets contained by the Searing Chains. Getting kited around now as well as AIM jumps back in once again. Dazzle gets the Grave off. Paparazzi safe from the Ember for now as he is brought down. The Night Stalker is actually the one to finish him off. They end up losing 2 cores, and they will end up losing the Night Stalker as well. As iG.Vitality, without expending any buybacks, will end up taking that fight 4 for 1, and now try and push up the top lane. Somebody's going to have to buy back. Something's going to have to give. There is a glyph for the Dire team, but LGD, not the team fight that they were quite hoping for. Looks like Warlock getting forced away by the Viper, unable to get his ultimate off. And Viper knows that the backdoor protection is disabled because the bottom lane, he's just going to come straight in at mid. He's 3k health, worth of very fast auto attacks, but does not have the Troll Warlord's backup right now. The RP's also on cooldown, so Viper needing to be a little bit careful. Does have the BKB, gonna get force staffed into the base, however, just focusing on the melee barracks. There is no glyph available for the Radiant. Chaotic Offering gets threatened, but Warlock's actually already dead. The Sonic Wave kills him before he even gets the melee barracks. So now it has the opportunity to heal up from 80 HP. Viper, what were you thinking? I guess he got the buybacks and decided that he just couldn't leave. It was a triple buyback from LGD, so I suppose worth it at the end of the day. Now LGD gonna have to try and get everything that they can. Roshan, unfortunately, still down for at least another minute and a half. And, alright, let's see what they can force. They can't get... Oh, they could get top back here. This tower is 1 hit from death. So this tier 2 is not really that much of an obstacle, but... LGD? They don't manage to do anything, really. Looks like they're just gonna try and wait around for their buybacks if possible. Ember Spirit... I guess he probably just buys up for the Octarine in a second. iG.Vitality, gonna go push out the mid lane. Nice and well, relatively safe. Magnus hanging a little bit behind. Also going to be going for a Hex now. Topsy-turvy game once again, as we will head into Radiant territory for the net worth advantage. Experience heading back to 0. And Troll Warlord reclaiming his #1 net worth spot. Queen of Pain, what's the next item going to be? A little bit surprised that she sold the Midas so early. Is going to be buying a Dragon Lance. Alright. Kiting around the fights. Staying on the edges, perhaps. Utilizing that bonus 100 attack range. What's her attack range right now? Actually pretty sweet. Almost the whole screen. So maybe the lesson now is that they just gotta find the Magnus. So it's a game of cat and mouse. Mag staying behind his team this time around, which is good for him. Oh. Dire Vision, decent. Radiant Vision, not a whole lot. Roshan is up. Dire are aware of it. And Radiant gonna go for a 5-man smoke. iG.Vitality moving forward. They've got the Viper on the front lines. Pretty tanky. Heads into the pit. Can they get the Night Stalker over here to scout this? Are they just gonna get this Roshan out from underneath their noses? The battle trance is making it very fast along with this Solar Crest, and that's it. Aegis down. Chi's going to be handed over to the Viper instead of the Aegis, interestingly enough, despite the fact that he is he one of the people with no buyback? Oh no, they've actually got buyback on both of them. LGD didn't manage to force them out, so... Even with the triple buyback getting forced, they don't get a single buyback out of the enemy team. They won't get the Roche. And now the high ground siege will begin. 3 heroes that if they die, they're out for good. This could just be the game here. There's no glyph available either. Axe needs to go for the immediate initiation pretty much. Night Stalker. AIM just going to clear out the wave. They've also got the Warlock doing his job. Throwing out the upheaval. Holding out of the high ground. A little bit more chip damage from the Troll. But the melee barracks has pretty much healed its way all the way back up to full. More Shiva's spam. More Sleight of Fist, the Octarine core. Reducing the cooldown to 3.6 seconds, so he does clear the waves very, very quickly. Viper Holds his nerve for now. Does get Force Staff into the base. A little bit scary for him. They will get the call off. The Skewer back attempted, but the Force Staff going to help keep the Axe alive. He will be able to go and Shrine to heal back up. They drop the Chaotic Offering. They're jumping into the back lines. They do manage to find the kill on the Magnus. He gets stunned up by the RP. Now the follow-up from the Burrow Strike, but the Axe re-engaging as he gets the call off. That's going to keep the Ember Spirit alive, but 11 just gets chopped down by the Troll. They've lost 2 so far. Standing their ground, the Troll and the Viper just going to go to work, but they're splitting themselves up now. Viper going to Force Staff himself up onto the high ground. Looks like he will be able to TP out. Paparazzi still has the Aegis intact. And 2 more buybacks coming in from the Radiant side. They did finally get the melee racks over at mid lane. Are they going to just try and end this now? They just spent 3 of their buybacks. Dazzle, along with the Sand King, and the Magnus, all buying back into the game. The RP still on cooldown for 80 seconds, but looks like with no Chaotic Offering, they decided that this is the time to go. This is the time to make use of the Aegis. Viper farming up a little bit. Will just be sliding his way over towards mid. And LGD having to find this crucial initiation. They do once again have the vision from the Night Stalker. Chipping onto the Troll. Dogfight's going to go into the Sandstorm, just keeping himself safe. Troll Warlord getting Solar Crested, working on the tier 3, but not actually making that much progress just yet. Going to be able to heal off the creep wave with the Satanic. Needs to be careful. This Bloodthorn is actually doing him in very quickly. That's his Aegis gone. They still don't have anything to really initiate on him because the Axe is still dead, but it's only for another 5 seconds, and iG.Vitality, gotta be careful. A lot of these heroes don't have buyback right now. Viper does have his BKB, but no cheese anymore. As Night Stalker chases forward, they force out that BKB. Continuing the pursuit. Axe going to be looking for the Blink Call in just a second. Ember Spirit giving him the vision, but he's actually looking for the backlines. He finds the Troll Warlord. Is the RP available? It's not, but the Yule Scepter will prevent the Blade Mail from doing too much damage. The Viper very low. Going to help keep him alive is the Dazzle. Getting that Grave off as Dogfight just getting auto-attacked down by the Queen of Pain. They jump in once again. They manage to find the Troll Warlord with the Yule Scepter. He's got the Satanic, but they're just kiting him around in circles. They've got him on the edge of the upheaval as well. He's now being silenced. Can he actually get some auto-attacks off? There's the BKB and the Satanic finding some health off of 11, but he Force Staffs himself away, and the Queen of Pain attacking from 700 range away. Does manage to finish the kill in the end. Paparazzi, one of the few Radiant heroes still with buyback available, as the tier 4 tower is cleaned up pretty much in their entirety. Looks like the carts are going to finish it, so it's an exposed Ancient now for LGD, but maybe they still have an opportunity here. They're going to try and push in through the mid lane. Again, this top tower is only 1 hit from death, so Mega Creeps are not out of the question. But I think all they really want here is the Troll Warlord buyback. Viper also still holding onto his buyback, that Grave from the Dazzle, allowing him to TP out, so some nice team play. I doubted the Dazzle a little bit when they picked it, but it's working out nicely. Just waiting for the rest of the team to get over here. Ember does still have his Boots of Travel ready to join them, but has to jump in through the mid lane, and it looks like top lane still needs a little bit of attention, so gonna head over there for the time being, but they don't want this Troll Warlord to get away without having to buy back. Alright, they get the Night Stalker vision. Queen of Pain able to attack from outside of the tower's attack range. We've got a Sniper Queen in the game. Tier 3 is dead. Viper gonna go and take up his position on the front lines. He's got plenty of armor. They haven't even used the weave just yet. They're gonna be able to heal him up somewhat. The Queen of Pain keeps going to work. The glyph's already been used, but it's only 10 seconds now on that Troll Warlord respawn, and LGD, they gotta be careful. They do get their Queen of Pain buyback back up now. The Ember Spirit also has his buyback, so if they die, it's not game over. Night Stalker just gonna be going for an E-Blade. Save his team from all these auto attacks. Probably not even gonna use it on his teammates. I would guess you just E-Blade the Viper or something like that. But could end up needing to E-Blade your team depending on when the BKBs end up being used. Looks like they still have a... Do they have a gem? Where are the gems, actually? There's a gem on the Night Stalker. There's a gem on the Dazzle. Just going to leave it on the buyback status for now. They got a smoke coming in. They've got the vision from the Night Stalker Ags. Can they find the important targets? That's the question. Sand King, just going to be enough to start out with as they do get the auto attacks through. They finish him off. They're jumping forward. Aggressive positioning, but Axe able to Force Staff himself away. Queen of Pain, life stealing up a little bit, but they do get the Yules under the Axe. Can they keep him alive? They get the Force Staff away. This time around, it's the Warlock helping to keep him up. They drop the Chaotic Offering. It's on to 2. They've lost the 2 supports. Ember kiting this fight nicely as the Magnus now going to get changed up. Yules is himself, but he's been silenced. He's been called, and he's been finished off. That's all 3 dead, as it's only the 2 big right-clickers now left alive for the iG.Vitality side, and it looks like Viper not going to be able to survive too much longer. There are some shrines around the place for him to use, and he does have the buyback available, as Troll is just waiting inside of the fountain. They've got their Sand King back up in a couple of seconds, and LGD still having to keep one eye on their base. Ember Spirit is going to be the one to do that, as Queen of Pain moves forward onto this bottom lane of Rax. Troll Warlord looking pretty keen. Viper needs to be careful. If he dies now, that's going to be it for him, but they do manage to get the Burrow Strike over onto the axe. It's once again the 4 stabs that will save them. He gets down onto the low ground. Troll Warlord just getting auto-attacked at right now. They don't have nighttime, so they don't have the full vision, but they will still be able to finish him off. He hasn't bought back just yet, trying to hold on to it, but the Night Stalker managing to isolate the Viper over on the other side. Paparazzi realizing that he has to save the Viper here if he can. Ember jumping a little bit further away. No lucky bash, but looks like they still get the Burrow Strike onto him. He's staying alive courtesy of the Sleight of Fist, able to jump away a little bit further. The kiting from LGD is absolutely ridiculous, and now the Troll Warlord might be brought down for a second time. He's been rooted up by the Searing Chains. The Viper able to just turret up and keep on auto-attacking away, as the Queen of Pain doing the same thing on the other side of the fight, forcing back the Troll, now focusing on the Dazzle. The auto-attacks are almost enough, avoids the bash for now, does get broken, and does get the Viper Strike up on her as well, but healing up. Now the Ember going in one more time. They're looking for the Viper. Is there going to be a Grave? He gets forced after a little bit further away, but the Dazzle doesn't have the Grave. It's still on cooldown for the time being. The Troll Warlord getting slowed up by the edge of the upheaval. Viper's dead. Looks like Troll is going to be going the same way, but the base is under attack. They've got the Glyph. Can they finish this game in time? They're going to be TPing back with the Ember. Axe is dead. He buys back. The Queen of Pain focusing onto the tier 4 towers right now. But can they actually finish it? The Magnus, does he have an RP and a skewer? No skewer for a little bit. Dogfights is back up. They've got some lockdown potentially. Queen of Pain still has quite a bit of health that she needs to do to these tier 4s. Jump forward with the Epicenter. They're looking for the kill on the Night Stalker. They don't quite get it. They jump forward with the skewer, but he manages to E-Blade himself, keeping himself alive. Can they get the last Shockwave to finish him? They will be able to. It's Queen of Pain against the Magnus here inside of the base, turns her attention over towards the tier 4s once again, and since they've defended their Ancient, looks like they should be able to finish this. They've got the other heroes coming in. They drop the RP onto the Queen of Pain, but she's still alive. The tier 4 tower, I don't think it should be able to finish her off. She throws out the Scream of Pain, the Sonic Wave, not able to heal, but still staying alive. The buyback from the Magnus, the Axe, and the Ember are quick to jump him. They're going to put the rock on top of his head as well, as maybe finishes up the base. It was extremely close as we get to the end, but LGD will take the win 2-1 here. Oh my word. iG.Vitality, I thought that their lineup, I really thought that it had what it takes, but the Night Stalker turned out to be the X factor. Those 4 staff plays as well from LGD were amazing. They kited the Troll Warlord and the Viper, made them look useless. They picked off the other heroes around the fringes of the fight, and I mean, we had like 1 3-man RP this entire game, and even when that happened, the Troll Warlord was busy being kited by a Searing Chains, and he couldn't do anything. So, oh man, what a series. We had 2 absolute stomps, and then this lovely game of Dota to round us out. So congratulations to LGD. They're going to be matching up against LFY in our winner bracket final, which I believe is going to be played on Saturday. It's not over just yet for iG.Vitality. They're going to be dropping down to play against eHome Keen. I'll double check their opponent right now, in fact. No, so they're going to be dropping down to play against eHome, but tomorrow's matches are going to be eHome Keen versus Vici Gaming, and it's going to be eHome versus iG.Vitality. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the MDL coverage tonight. I got to go head to bed because I got to be awake in 5 hours for work, but well worth it. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to tune in for all the Epicenter, MDL, Summit. There's a million qualifier streams going on at the moment, so plenty of Dota action to catch, and I'll hope to see you sometime soon.